starts, I am going live. I tried this filter and I don't know if I can turn it off. Let me see. Ooh, that's fun. Let's see, how about no filter? What's that? Okay. Welcome to the Soul Elevated Life. I'm going to try to go online to share the video to get more viewers on. Not that that's important, because my message is my message, and whoever receives it will receive it, and it'll be perfect. But let me look anyways. So today we're going to go over something super exciting. We're going to talk about how who you are today and what you do today affects your lineage. Oh, and you might be a little thrown off by my glasses, because this morning I woke up late and I drove out the door and I totally forgot I had my glasses on. But my coworker says I look super studious, so she thinks it looks super cute. So I decided to keep it on, not throw on my glasses. But I did put on some lipstick for you. I forgot to turn my Wi-Fi, of course. So what I was going to share with you today was, I had this really deep, powerful conversation with a friend, and she said, my grandmother said that whenever, whatever your parents do, you end up paying for in a way. And, I've heard this a few times. And so she said that if your parents were super duper, if your parents have a lot of, if they dealt with a lot of stuff and they have a lot of stuff, then you are going to deal with it in your lifetime. Kind of like karma, I guess. And my mom always said, when the dad has a lot of junk and baggage and stuff, the daughters end up paying it off. And when the mom has a lot of junk and stuff, then the mom ends up if the mom does a lot of junk and has a lot of karma and does a lot of supposedly bad deeds and stuff like that, then the son ends up paying for it, it's something that he has to deal with. And I was just like, when my friend said that when her grandmother said that to her, hold on, let me tell you something real fast. Actually, I can. Maybe I just posted. She said that when her grandmother said that, it gave me the chills. And my arms, you look at your arms, you feel the goosebumps raised up on your arms. And I was thinking, wow, there's really something significant about what she said. And I was like, so what is it? What is so significant about what she said? And I realized that, I'm going to play with this camera a little bit. I'm like, what is so significant about what she said? And I realized that there's probably some truth to that. When, how you pass your DNA onto your kids, right? You have the cellular DNA, and we've mapped out the human genome, and we've seen that the traits of the parents, any genetic defects or something, mutations and such, recessive genes, they tend to also pass on to the child. And and my husband is gluten sensitive, and so is my dad. I am not gluten sensitive, yet my kids, both Austin and Ava, are gluten sensitive, more so than my husband and more so than my dad, at least now in their childhood. Maybe as an adult, they'll be less sensitive to gluten. But, I was thinking something as simple as an allergy or a tendency to be more affected by something is affected by their genetic material, the stuff that was passed down to them. And that is just the science we know. I feel like the science we know is not always our brains, our limitations as human beings. We don't know everything there is to know about what gets passed on through our genes. And I was thinking, what if not only does the genetic material in our genes also get passed down to our kids, but also the cellular memory of things that happened in your life. You know, like things that happened in your life, things that you struggled with, tendencies and such. What if those things are also recorded into your cells, like your lack of belief, your mental blocks, the whatever it is. If there's a bunch of baggage and stuff with it, and then you hold on to it, you don't process it, it's stored into the memory of your cells, and it's passed on to your kids. And until those things get resolved, what if it passes on from generation to generation to generation? And maybe we don't necessarily have the science to prove it yet because we're not that advanced of a civilization and as a species, so we can't technically prove it, but just try it on for size. If that's the case, that means that everything you do today, the actions you take, things you do to expand your soul, the things you do to improve yourself as a person, the things you do to access your higher self, those things, any hang-ups you have, any resolutions you have, any things that you resolve about yourself, any resistance you dig into, any triggers that you process and eliminate and dissipate and resolve. Like, imagine if all of those things that you did today affect your species, your lineage, your descendants later on. Can you imagine that? Like what if it was not as simple as we thought? It's not just simply the creation of the cells and the embryo and stuff when an egg is fertilized by a sperm cell and stuff like that, but it goes even deeper into the energetic material that we share and feed out to our kids, and then it feeds out to their kids, and so on and so forth. Can you imagine if it ran that deep? And I was thinking, gosh, if that was the case, then if we were to think very simply as simpletons and as a human being and our limited brain, and we simply were short-sighted and we simply thought, man, you know, I just care about myself. I just care about the things I do, because I know that, you know, if you have the limiting belief that the things that you do only affect you and has no like butterfly effect, no chain reaction, no cascading effect where it affects your generations after you, it affects the lineage, you know, after you. Like, if you believe that, then think how short-sighted that is. So what if you open yourself to the possibility, just try it on for size, that everything you did, all the stuff that you thought, all your actions that you took, all the words that you spoke into existence, all the things that you declared into physical form, if all those things mattered and all those things would affect the generations behind you, they affect the very cellular structure of your DNA, and your body knew everything, and it was all held on to by every single cell in your body, because every cell is like a copy, or they all work synergistically together as an ecosystem. Imagine if all of that, all your actions, all your thoughts, all your words and everything were recorded and imprinted and held onto, and affects your cellular, affects you and your body down to a very cellular level. And then once you process, or when you improve yourself, when you expand, it also affects you down to a cellular level. And the things that you process and things that you resolve, the things that you expand from, the things that you grow from, also are recorded into your cellular memory and also affect the generations behind you. I mean, can you imagine? Can you imagine the kind of life that you would live, the person that you are, and the person that you would be if you lived with that kind of transparency, if you lived with that much clarity, and you lived with that much vision of not just about yourself, but also about all the generations that come behind you from your cellular DNA? Pretty crazy stuff, right? I mean, that's like goosebump inducing line of thinking. Because if I knew that my actions, my words, my thoughts, the things I did, the things I told myself, the things that I did not process or the things I did process, all the things that serve me and all the things that do not serve me, if I knew that every one of those things affected me down to a cellular level, and it affected me down to the generations behind me and the souls that would reincarnate after me, I think I would live my life with a lot more integrity. I would stop just thinking about myself, and I would think also about, it's no longer about myself. It's also about the legacy, the dynasty I leave behind, all the souls that reincarnate after me into my name, you know? And maybe it's not as even as black and white as the just like let's say you have an out. You say, well, I don't have any kids, so that doesn't apply to me. But what if that general rule of thumb did not only affect your direct descendants, your direct lineage for that comes from your reproduction, but also from just the people you interact with. Just if there are any source of people that surround you, your pets, your animals, the people that you interact with on a daily basis, your coworkers, your friends, your circle of friends, your circle of influence. Imagine if that rule did not only affect your kids and your kids' kids and so on and so forth, but also affected like a certain diameter radius around you. Imagine if that was the case, and if you lived with that kind of vision and that clarity and that kind of mindset, how would you live your life? How would you live your life differently? I, for one, would not slack so much with my meditation practice. I mean, I'm not saying that we would be perfect. I'm not saying that you are not human and you're not allowed to make mistakes and stuff like that. But I think, I would do things a lot more intentionally, and I would think much more long-term than I do now, right? If I knew that if I suffered from obesity or weight issues and things like that, and if I did not figure it out and if I did not process it, then it was going to be something that my kids would have to deal with and their kids, and so on and so forth, then I'm going to, by golly, I'm going to do whatever I can to maximize this lifetime so that I set my kids and their kids and so on and so forth to the best possible baseline I could give them, right? It's like the least I can do. It would be a great incentive. So imagine that. Imagine if you lived not just for you, but also for all the souls after you. How would your life change? What if you took on that challenge? How would you be different right now, starting right now? What the things that you say, the things that you do, the things that you think, how would it be different? Any ailments, any things that you suffer and you don't get handled will be passed on. Any bad habits that you have will get passed on. Any doubts, any fears, anything that does not serve you, if you don't process it, it gets passed on. That gives me a lot of incentive to get my shit together, right? Because I'm thinking, gosh, if I don't resolve it and I don't fix it, then I'm already giving the kids a tough start to begin with, right? And so I was thinking, well, you better get your stuff together. You better resolve all those things. You better process it. You better do whatever you can to elevate yourself and expand yourself and grow as much as possible to access that higher version of you as much as possible so that it makes life easier for the souls that reincarnate after me. And that really gave me a different perspective. And the other topic that I put on there was listening to your goosebumps. I'm taking this amazing course called Right Now, right as in right as and then right now, right now, and Lauren Roberts, she mentioned something amazing. She said to follow your shivers, and I was like, what is the shivers about? And so I noticed that when, whenever people talk about something really spiritual, or they say something really moving, or they talk about a past life, or they say something kind of otherworldly, not from this realm, they may talk about a vision they saw, a moment of deja vu, something they saw in a dream, something from another dimension. Whenever my mom spoke about dreams that she's had or premonitions, visions that she would have, it always gave me goosebumps. And I was just like, whoa. And when my coworker, when she talked this morning, she talked about how her grandmother said that when when your parents don't resolve their stuff, you end up processing it and you deal with it and you end up figuring it out. And if you don't, it gets passed on to your kids. The kind of life that you live and all the karma that you create and generate will be further processed and paid off or resolved, so to speak, by the generations after you. And when she said that, it gave me goosebumps. And I was thinking, what if, try this on for size, what if whenever you felt chills or goosebumps or like a shift in your energy, and it kind of makes you want to it stops you and it kind of makes you think for a minute, what if that was a sign from the multiverse? That was a sign from the universe. That was a sign from God. That was a sign from Buddha, whatever your spiritual structure is. What if that was a sign from the universe telling you that that's something you need to pay attention to? You need to think about it further. You need to dig into it. You need to reflect on it. You need to see, whoa, what was that about? And I noticed, when she pointed out, I started noticing all the times that I would get the chills, all the times that I would get the goosebumps. I'm not saying because it's cold, not from a temperature change, but actually from something, some sort of trigger, some sort of action, some sort of something someone said that really woke you up and stopped you for a second. Instead of just brushing it off like it's nothing, what if you took a moment and you thought about it and you're like, okay, well, if the universe is telling me to pay attention here, then if you stop for a minute and you think, right? Because the universe says, hold on, pay attention, listen closely, right? Your ears perk up, you sit up straighter, you take more thorough notes, and you really pay attention to what is around you and what's going on, right? So it's the same thing. I feel like the universe is the best teacher we could possibly ask for, because the universe provides you everything you need to expand your soul and to grow as a soul and as a person. And if you really paid attention, you're never ever alone. And there's always some purpose to your experience. You're always being taught something. Right? I mean, what if you had a teacher that was always with you, that always taught you, that always loved you unconditionally, and always did whatever he or she could to get your attention? And if you did not pay attention, if you did not pay attention when she asked you to pay attention, she would do whatever it took to get your attention, because she is committed to you mastering the lesson. If that is the case, then you better pay attention, right? You better, and until you pay attention, until you communicate, until you master the lessons, the trajectory of your life doesn't change. You won't graduate to the next grade level. You won't go up to the next experience. You won't go up to the next realm. You won't go to the next higher vibrational frequency. You won't go to college. You won't get your PhD. You won't walk across the stage, and so on and so forth, right? And then you won't be able to come back and teach others once you've mastered all those courses. You can come back as a living master or as a professor or something and really help others that are on their mission to go up that developmental expansion, higher vibrational frequency journey. And I was thinking, wow, that is so profound and so deep and so powerful, that if we truly stopped and we truly listened, and every time we got chills or goosebumps, we stopped and paid attention, because our teacher is just ringing our ears or tapping on the shoulder and saying, hey, I'm giving you a loving chance to really pay attention here, because there is a lesson to be learned here. There is a purpose to something that's happening right now. So tell me what you think about it. Do your homework. Do the work. And let's say you do or you don't, and you decide to ignore it. You're like, no, I'm going to go play. I'm going to go frolic. I'm going to pretend like mom is not calling me, and I'm not going to go home and eat dinner when she asks me to. Well, you know what? There are going to be consequences to your absconsion, to your disobedience, to your lack of enthusiasm, to your breaking of your contract, to your there's a halt to your expansion. There's a halt to your continual ascension, and and that simply doesn't serve you. You know, you have free will. You can play and you can frolic and you can ignore your mom calling you. You can ignore the signs that life sends you. But sooner or later, it's going to get dark. You're going to get hungry. You're going to get tired. You're going to feel lost. You're going to say, okay, I'm done playing. I'm done being homeless. I'm done being the runaway. I'm ready to come home. Okay, I'm ready. The student is ready. The teacher appears, right? So that's how I see it. You know, if you can goof off and you can decide not to pay attention. You can decide, because you have complete free will. But then you're going to get tired of it. You're going to get bored of it, and you're going to still go home, and you're still going to find your comfort, and you're still going to say, okay, I'm ready. What's next? Let's do this. Let's do it. Because I'm tired of playing. It's no longer serving me. I'm getting bored. I experienced it because I wanted to, and you gave me the freedom to do it, but I'm done with it. I got it out of my system. So what's next? And I think it's when we do that, when we decide and we choose, then it's when we start living a soul elevated life. That's when we start going the right direction, and that's when we start transforming as a soul and as a person, and we start to come alive again. So incredible. But I was like, I just have to share this with you. What if you've never heard this message before and it changes your life? What if? So here is you living a soul elevated life. Live your truth. Listen to the signs the multiverse sends you. Listen to the goosebumps that pops up on your arms and your legs, and stop and pay attention. Perk up your ears and think, what if everything you did or said affected generations after you? Would you live it differently? How would you live it differently? What kind of person would you be if you knew that whatever you did either helped or made more challenging your generations and the people around you now and after? If you have enjoyed my content and you love seeing me every single day and you get value out of what I provide you, I encourage you to go visit my page on Facebook. It's called Soul Elevate Life, and it's like fbme.me/Soul Elevate Life. I'm sure you can search for Soul Elevate Life and something will come up, and you'll see the one with the pink lotus. That's me. So come support me, like my page if you feel like I resonate with you and I send you a message that really speaks to you and you feel called to connect with me and support me and to hear my message every day. I would love it. I'd be so honored and so grateful if you would like my page and also set me on your setting as for you to see me first. So whenever I go live or whenever I post something or blog something, that you'll get a notification or you'll get some sort of, it will go first in your feed, you know, so it'll pop up. Because let's face it, there's so much junk in our feed, you know, if we're not like really diligent about what we do. My commitment to you is I will never, ever give you junk. I will never give you any content that does not serve you. I will not waste your time. That is not what I'm all about. I'm here for you to live a soul elevated life. That is not in alignment with who I am and what I came here to do. I'm here to serve you so that you can live your soul elevated life. And, oh yeah, one more thing. So I have a website that I just kicked off on Monday, August the 13th. And I had my grand opening for my Soul Elevated Life coaching practice, my coaching business. And if you would like to work with me one-on-one, because there's a reason why I'm so vibrant and alive and so happy, because I finally tapped into how to live a soul elevated life. I love it so much that I'm here to serve you and show you how you too can live your soul elevated life. So if you would like to work with me on a one-on-one basis, I now have prices on my website, and everything's 25% off for the month of August. So this is the last time you'll see these prices. In September, the prices are going up. So you love my message, you want to work with me, you want to change the trajectory of your life, you're ready to expand your soul and to live your soul elevated life and access the version of you that you know absolutely exists, but you have no idea how to get there. I'm here to serve you and show you how you can access it, because I figured it out. I learned how to do it. I'm so excited to share it with you. But we must, in order to change from one form to another, we must exert energy, right? If you want to change from ice to water to gas to, like fog or something, it requires an exertion of energy. So for you to truly have a massive transformation in any area of your life, ideally, you have to exert some energy. You have to input some energy. And for me, that form of energy is through money. You can leverage the energy of money, which I've learned through how I have had a coach that's really helped me transform my life. I leverage the energy of money, and it's when you take massive action for massive transformation. That's the start. But sometimes you need someone to help you point out your blind spots, and sometimes you need someone to ask you some really thought-provoking questions, stuff that you really never ever thought about. And for someone to help you point out your triggers and to hear things that you've never even heard, because you've been so used to hearing all that chatter and all that junk in your head that simply does not serve you. You've heard it for so long, you don't even hear it anymore. Until you speak with a coach, you may not even know about any of that stuff that doesn't serve you. So that's where I come in. I'm here to serve you. I'm here to help you live your soul elevated life and access all that wonderful stuff that's already inside of you, but you just have no idea. You've totally forgotten how to access it, because when you reincarnated on this earth, you forgot everything. And I'm here to help you remember. I will see you tomorrow. Come visit my page or come visit my website, and I send you lots of love and light. How do I turn this off? I have all these filters. Oh, I think I pushed this button.